All right. Thank you. Thank you to the GoldenGate PM team for inviting me to come and speak at this event. Greatly appreciate it, guys. So Rheodata was founded probably back pre-COVID sometime. Some things which I had in the work. I am the CEO, senior cloud architect for it as well. But with the premise of Rheodata, it was really meant to help get customers into the cloud. And how do we do that? We help you accelerate your data to get you into the cloud through using Oracle GoldenGate. And part of that is using microservices to get there. And so we're going to just share a couple of little things with you. If I can get the slides here to move, it'd be nice. What's going on here? Okay. So basically, as I was saying, our mission is to help you automate this process and to transform your data ingestion or data integration strategies to help you scale across the enterprise, regardless what cloud you're in, but be able to take your GoldenGate investment and to help you migrate into those areas of interest. I won't spend a lot of time on this. This is just a lot of services that which we offer. You can kind of pencil us in as a core managed service provider, but at the same time, we have a deep expertise knowledge in Oracle GoldenGate in Classic as well as microservices. I like to kind of phrase it as we've loved microservices, GoldenGate microservices from the get-go, from 2017 on. It's been a great platform, and we've seen it mature throughout the life cycle of it. So much so that we've got a couple of examples where customers have asked us to help them move the microservices in various different architectures. So I've got two basic architectures. Here's the customers. We got two basic architectures we'll show you. One is a simple unidirectional with a little bit of a low man or a budgetary high availability solution. And the other one is actually a multi-master three-way replication across the globe, all of which using microservices. So this is just a rough list of customers that we've had over the last couple of years that which we've implemented microservices in throughout that course of time. So let's talk about Shoe Carnival for a second. Shoe Carnival, we interacted with Shoe Carnival, and they had a need and a desire to get to real-time analytics, real-time reporting off of their Oracle Exadatas. They were running Oracle Classic GoldenGate on their Exadatas, and they were trying to figure out how do we take that process off of the Exadata to allow our Exadatas more room to breathe, but at the same time implement a solution which is HA aware, or at least give them some sort of HA solution, and to put them on the path to going towards a real-time analytics strategy. So we evaluated their GoldenGate environment. The current architecture could very easily be migrated over to a hub architecture that which we penciled them into and got them to do that. By doing this, we basically implemented an efficiency improvement of 45% over their operational process overall. But at the same time, gave them a disaster recovery strategy for GoldenGate that which will allow them to fail over, because in the next slide here, as you see, they have two Exadatas, one at headquarters, one in a DR site. They're using an active data guard to fail between in case they ever had to. But the problem that they were having with classic architecture was that they couldn't, when they failed over, it was a lot of manual processes that they had to do to get it up in the DR side. So by taking that classic architecture, migrating it to microservices, we were able to pull them out, put them onto a VM hub on the HQ side, where that VM hub is actually architected to where if it fails over, the GoldenGate processes obviously will stop, the extract and replicate will stop. But when it fails over to the DR side, it will come back up and automatically restart and reconnect. And the way we achieved that was through the microservices platform, for one, but two, we put the deployment homes. So you've heard the PMs talk about, the upgradability and all these other structures that come in the microservices platform. This is a case where the GoldenGate binaries are actually installed on the VM hubs on both sides, but the deployment home is installed on a secondary disk group on an NFS mount point. So when they fell over, they just fell over the NFS mount point, remount it, bring up the service manager, everything comes back up, and they connect and they keep on replicating. And that was a very simple use case to get them to where they wanted to be for that operational efficiency. And from here, we're taking them to OCI, moving data from this data warehouse into OCI into other analytics platform strategies for them overall. So that's a very simple use case of how microservices can be really architected with the flexibility to get a HA solution in place very easily and very quickly. The next use case is really around the multi-master architecture of this. GoldenGate's been very good for years, 20-something years it's been around. It's been very good for multi-master replication. You get into conflict detection resolution strategies and all these other things. So a lot of customers are still out there running Oracle 11G databases, and they're starting to realize that they have to go to at least 19 or even beyond 19 to continue support and those type of things. At the same time, DFIN was using Oracle Streams on 11G, and they invested in GoldenGate, and they had to get to Office Streams and into GoldenGate. So this project was really a this has been a year-long project which took us through a lot of different avenues, but at the end, we actually built probably around 6 different environments, 35 different database upgrades. First off, we had migration upgrades, and then we had to implement multi-master across everything across the board. And we did it all through, on the Oracle GoldenGate side, we did it all through RESTful APIs. And so when you look at this architecture, the left-hand side of this is their legacy Oracle GoldenGate or Oracle Streams with GoldenGate, or excuse me, with 11G, and they had streams pointing everywhere. It was, the data consistency was all over the place. And so what we had to do, we had to take this approach and say, okay, what's the best maximum approach for them? Not only for migrating from 11 to 19, but also when we get to 19, what's the best architecture for this? And so we wound up, and this whole entire process was them wanting to maintain a 20-year-old business function, business critical application that was written in VB6 20-something years ago, but had to get it to run on 19 and make sure the replication still happened across this multinational environment. And so the first thing we did, we set up the migration hub, which is in the middle here, and we used GoldenGate 21C microservices, built out 35 plus deployments very quickly, very easily with the RESTful API interfaces, and then just started migrating one database after another. And we're doing this, like I said, multinationally. And we used 21C on the migration hub at the time because we did not have to install any additional binaries. The unified libraries for connecting all the way down to 11G was very helpful because we didn't have to, like I said, install anything extra. And then we were able to get up and running very quickly. And we used this hub to migrate all 35 plus databases that are involved in this architecture. Then once we were into the 19C environment with Oracle Database 19C, we opted to use GoldenGate 19 microservices, just because at the time when we do it, as we heard earlier today, is that the life cycle for 19C ends, I believe, in 2025. And so, but we use 19 because it gives them the longer range of support, right? With the caveat of making upgrades a lot easier when they want to go to 21 or even 21 or 23 when it comes out, because they just have to switch out the binaries at that point. But what we did is that we put 3 hubs around the globe. 2 of them are here in the States, one's in Asia, across the Pacific, and we're replicating multi-mastered across all 3 of those. So each one of these hubs have about 5 deployments in them. So we've got probably about 15 to 20 extracts and replicats all talking to each other, multi-mastered with auto CDR, and it's handling hundreds of thousands of transactions a second across the board with no problem. So we not only got them off of Streams and off of 11G, but we got them onto a scalable, reliable, multi-mastered, regionally use case to where the DBAs can now manage it remotely and be able to scale as they need to. And so if they ever decide to put in a 3rd or a 4th hub into this architecture, it's basically just install a new hub, put the deployment homes out there, and then stub it, and you're pretty much ready to go. So this is two different use cases, two very big use cases for mission critical applications that which they are critically needed. But it shows the power of the microservices architecture and how flexible it is to implement in real time and get the data where it needs to be, as we used to do across the board. So with that, it was a very quick presentation. So I do appreciate the PM team inviting me to speak, and I look forward to talking to them more because I'm really excited about some of the 23 stuff. I want to ask so many questions. So thank you, Jeff. I'll turn it back over to Jeff.
Bobby, this is great. Yeah, thanks a lot for sharing these wonderful stories, and congrats on doing so well with your clients. I know there's a lot of folks out there that can benefit from the experience and expertise that your team are bringing here. And, honestly, the examples that you gave and preparing your clients for, all the different potentialities of the future, I think there's a lot that people can learn from your team on that. So thanks again for coming out. Always great to hear you at these events.
Thank you, Jeff.